You might remember a video I made back in April titled very similarly to the one you're watching now. In that video I discussed the upcoming changes to Formula 3 this year and how they should all pan out. Despite my attempts at making a video that wouldn't immediately be out of date, unfortunately there has been some changes since then. So in order to set the record straight and give ourselves a better chance at understanding Formula 3 in the future, let's revisit this chart and see what exactly happened to Formula 3 in 2019. I suppose it's worth saying first, but if you haven't watched the original video by now, then you probably should, as I will be skipping over the majority of what is covered there. All caught up? Let's continue then. So I'll start by bringing the chart back up. Luckily there is a lot on here that has stayed the same, but there are also some that have changed too, and some that will change from next year and onwards. Starting with FIA Formula 3, or International Formula 3 as people have taken to calling it, we do need to add one more to the section. In April, we didn't know where the Macau Grand Prix was going to sit on this chart, but now that the event has come and gone, we know that it belongs here. So now the original Formula 3 doesn't look so lonely. Next up, we have Regional Formula 3, and as ever, this is where most of the information has changed. Starting with the ones that have stayed the same, we have the Formula Regional European Championship, the F3 Americas Championship, and the F3 Asian Championship. The Asian Winter Series, on the other hand, will no longer be around from next year, as the F3 Asian Championship will move to a winter calendar instead, removing the need for a separate championship altogether. Now with that out of the way, we do have a brand new championship to add to this section, with the Formula Regional Japanese Championship that will start in 2020. This championship only came to light at the end of 2019, as it was the All Japan Formula 3 Championship originally rumoured to be using a new regional car created by Dome. The car will make use of the same Alfa Romeo engine that is used in the European and Asian Championships. So with the addition of the Formula Regional Japanese Championship, that brings the total number of FIA series up to 4. Next we have the non-FIA backed series using regional machinery. The Formula Renault Euro Cup, the W Series, and the F3 America's sister championship will all be around for next year, but they will also be joined by another championship changing regulations. That's right, the Toyota Racing Series based in New Zealand will move from the pseudo F3 category to here, as it will switch to a regional F3 car designed by Tatus. You might notice that the car is called the FT60, but make no mistake, it is the same Tatus built car used in the other championships, though it will utilise a Toyota built engine as per the name of the championship. With this addition we have covered all of the regional series announced for 2020. Now for the next section we have to make some changes to the structure of the chart itself, so bear with me. First we need to expand the pseudo F3 category. Here we can place our first championship, the Euro Formula Open. Now last time I had this one split between the national and regional F3 categories due to it covering a wide area but also using older machinery. Well, from 2020 it will use an upgraded car specifically created by Dallara called the Dallara 320. The 320 will utilise many of the same parts as the old Dallara F317, which itself is an upgrade of the F312, and will also include more modern safety features such as the halo to keep drivers safe. This means the 320 will also be able to utilise the same engines from previous years as well, cutting costs. So essentially the Euro Formula Open will run what many would call a traditional F3 car, but one that has been adapted for modern standards. So what does this mean for the other championship using the F317 this year, the All Japan Formula 3 Championship? Well, that too will also be switching to the new 320. Not only that, but it will also be changing its name to Super Formula Lights from 2020. This means that the championship will act solely as a support category for the Super Formula Championship, further emphasising the separate ladder that has appeared in Japan in recent years. So what else could we consider as part of this category? Well, another championship I would place here is the BRDC F3 Championship in the UK. Now I know this fell into the national F3 category last time I did this, but hear me out. First of all, the championship is not a traditional Formula 3 championship, nor does it have a long history like some of the others. Alongside that, it doesn't utilise what would be considered Formula 3 machinery, since it's effectively running with a modified Formula 4 car. That's why, in order to separate it from the other category, I believe it would be best placed here. You might remember that in the previous video, I mentioned that the championship was looking to upgrade its car to potentially a regional Formula 3 variant. But since then, the organisers have announced that the current car will receive a series of upgrades including safety enhancements that were seen in IndyCar this year. Thus, the car is so far removed from its Formula 4 origins that it could be safely placed here instead. Finally, the last championship that should probably belong here is the MRF Challenge, or Formula 2000, or whatever its official name is. Since the series basically runs a Frankenstein car made out of various different parts, it makes perfect sense that it should be placed here since it's not really at the current standard. Though for how much longer this series will exist given the huge competition from the other winter-based series, I don't know. And really, I think that's where we can leave this section. So in the end, all I really did was move a few championships around and made a better table for it, so nothing too confusing. So what's left to deal with? Well, now that the National F3 category is left here all empty, we may as well move all of the others from last time here. Now the reason I didn't go over these other championships last time was because in the grand scheme of modern feeder racing, they are not as prevalent as this series we've already discussed. These are championships usually run at a grassroots level or for gentlemen drivers. Don't get me wrong, there are drivers that have come from these series as well, but realistically speaking, there's no reason going too in depth over something you may never hear of again. I've mentioned it before, but the idea of National Formula 3 has more or less evaporated as Formula 4 becomes the national equivalent for various countries. And there you go, an updated graphic that will hopefully last for the majority of 2020. I can't guarantee that this video won't be out of date soon after release like last time, but as of December 2019, this is your best bet. And no, I'm not adding S5000 here. It may use a modified regional F3 car, but honestly speaking, it's the furthest thing from Formula 3. Maybe. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video then let me know and subscribe for more videos like this, or if you like what I do, you can support me on Patreon. My name's Jacob, and as always until next time, goodbye.